Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping right into something huge. What happens when AI-powered attacks move so fast our defenses just can't keep up? The answer is forcing a total rethink of what national security even means.
So let's just kick things off with a big question, right? What happens when a cyber attack unfolds not in hours or minutes, but in microseconds? What do you do when the speed of a digital threat completely blows past the limits of human reaction time?
And that brings us to this idea. You might have heard of it, called the technological singularity. Now look, we're not talking about some sci-fi movie with robots taking over. In this context, it's way more specific. It's about that tipping point, where automated systems are making decisions on a network faster than any human or even a whole team of experts could ever possibly track. And that reality, this machine speed thing, well, it's not just a puzzle for the tech folks. It's a fundamental challenge to the very way nations have always thought about protecting themselves in the digital world.
To really wrap our heads around this challenge, we're going to zoom in on a great case study, Nigeria's National Cybersecurity Policy and Strategy. We'll call it the NCPS for short. It's a perfect example of how a modern country is trying to tackle this head-on.
What's so interesting about this policy is that it's really solid. It's a smart, well-thought-out plan. And it's built on this core idea that cyberspace isn't some separate thing for IT departments. It's woven into everything: the economy, national security, and even the basic trust people have in their government. So the whole thing rests on these 5 main pillars. You've got protecting the really important stuff, the power grid, the banks, things we all need every day. Then there's being resilient, so you can bounce back when you do get hit. Third, you gotta have everyone working together: government, companies, regular folks. Fourth is about building up your own local talent, your own tech. And finally, number 5, working with other countries because, hey, these threats don't stop at the border. It's a really comprehensive, human-led strategy.
Okay, so here's the billion-dollar question, right? You've got this smart, thoughtful, human speed plan. What happens when it smacks right into the brutal reality of a machine speed attack?
All right, let's break that down. Take something like protecting critical infrastructure. The old way of thinking was all about compliance. It was basically a checklist, right? Did you install the firewall? Check. Do you have antivirus? Check. But at machine speed, a checklist is useless. The whole mindset has to shift to what we call dynamic resilience. That's about designing your systems from the ground up to expect failure, to take a hit, and to keep the lights on no matter what. And you see the same exact shift when it comes to incident response. You know the old scene from movies? A breach happens, and a bunch of people jump on a conference call to figure out what to do. Well, by the time that call even connects in a machine speed attack, the game is already over. The future has to be automated. It means having systems that are pre-authorized to launch a defense the microsecond an attack starts. But, okay, all this speed and automation, it creates a massive governance problem. I mean, who's actually in charge? Let's say an AI is defending the power grid. To stop an attack, it decides to shut down power to a whole city block, including a hospital. Now what? Who's on the hook for that? The government? The programmer who wrote the code? The company that owns the AI? See, this isn't just a tech issue anymore. It's a crisis of trust. If you don't have clear accountability, the whole thing it falls apart. So you've got this crisis of speed, of trust, of control. What do you do? Well, the path forward is all about adapting. It's not about throwing out the entire rule book. It's about figuring out how to play a much, much faster game. And this, right here, is the absolute key insight. You don't have to start from scratch. You don't have to rewrite every policy. The big goals, keeping people safe, keeping the country running, those haven't changed at all. What has to change is how we get there. We have to look at the plans we already have and ask a new question. Okay, how does this work at the speed of an algorithm? And that question leads to this really profound shift in how we think about security. For decades, the big idea was deterrence through retaliation. The whole "if you hit us, we'll hit you back twice as hard" thing. But think about it. In a world of anonymous, lightning-fast attacks, who do you even hit back? A much better deterrent is just proving you can take the hit. It's being so resilient that an attack just bounces off and essential services stay online. You deny the attacker the very chaos they were trying to create. But let's be absolutely clear here. This is not about just handing the keys over to the machines and hoping for the best. We have to build in safeguards. Humans have to stay in the loop, especially for those life or death decisions. And we must have crystal clear chains of accountability for when things go wrong. Because automation without governance, that's not security. That's just a faster way to create chaos. Okay, so that's the big idea, but how do you actually do it? How does a country like Nigeria take this theory and make it real? Well, the source material actually lays out a pretty clear 5-point action plan. So here it is, the roadmap. Step 1, you make resilience part of the rules. You don't just recommend it, you bake it right into the regulations for all your critical systems. Step 2, you empower your automated defenses to act now. Don't make them wait for a human to click OK when every microsecond matters. 3, you tear down the walls between your civilian and security agencies. Get them talking, get them working as one team. 4, you invest in your own people. You've got to build your own cybersecurity and AI talent at home. You can't outsource your national security. And finally, step 5, and this is huge. You build accountability and auditability right into the code of these autonomous systems. They have to be transparent and trustworthy from the start. All right, let's zoom out for a second. When you put all these pieces together, what you're really looking at isn't just a new plan for cybersecurity. It's a whole new doctrine for national security in the 21st century.
And here's the bottom line. The goal is no longer to build some kind of perfect, unbreakable digital wall. That's a fantasy. The real goal now is ensuring the continuity of the state. It's about making sure that even while you're under a massive, high-speed cyber attack, the government can still function, the economy can still take over, and people are still safe. And that leaves us with one last big thought to chew on. In this new world that's getting faster and more automated by the day, maybe the truest measure of a nation's strength isn't its power to prevent every crisis from happening, but its design, built-in ability to withstand one when it inevitably does.